Hi everybody, Matt Bernier, Dan Illman, taking a look back at the Jessamine Stakes from Keeneland last week here on Weekend Wrap. 2-year-old fillies going a mile and a 16th on the turf course. This is presumably a major prep going into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. It's going to be at Del Mar in 3 weeks' time. Chad Brown, well represented in a big field, full field. How often do you see a 4-5 favorite in a 14-horse field? You had it here, and she delivered as they break from the gate in this spot. The Jessamine, you're going to see there's a pretty fast, lively pace signed on, and I think that really contributes. You figure the top 3 runners, they all came from well out of it.
Don't be fooled by the fractions. The turf course was really soft at Keeneland early last week, and a very fast horse mentality for Wesley Ward's going to go out on the lead. You see her throwing her head. She is rank and really eager to go, and Ricardo Santana is just going to let her go and try to stretch this field out. This pace is fast, and this pace collapses at the end.
Keep an eye toward probably 3/4 of the way back through the field between horses and those lime green silks. That's your eventual winner rushing fall, but she is able to relax off this pace, and like you say, don't take the fractions at face value because this is a relatively heavy course. You see the fractions though, 23 and 4, half mile in 48 and 3. You're looking at things going on here. Meanwhile, toward the back of the pack, everything's going very, very comfortably. These horses are waiting. You're eventually going to see Stainless follow rushing fall into the run.
Stainless, I believe, first-time turf, doesn't have that really strong turf pedigree, but she really fired here. You do have to wonder if it was a combination of pace and turf course. Keep an eye on the horse in 7th position right now. That's the eventual 3rd place finisher, Cash Out, and you might want to give him at least a little bit of credit because he is relatively close to this solid pace. For a brief instant, it looks like he's going to be outpaced here on the turn, but he's going to be forced to about the 4-5 path, and he's going to finish evenly with some interest.
Another one that I'm mildly intrigued with is the Lyle Stables runner. That's Layla Noor. She's in behind horses right now, mid-pack, and you're going to see she's going to need to wait momentarily. Runners. Meanwhile, here on the far outside, a little bit late to change leads is Rushing Fall, but finally when she does, she showcases a giant turn of foot.
This is a gigantic turn of foot, and the fans knew. This was only her 2nd lifetime start. She was facing real horses. She got hammered down to 9-10. She's being taken in hand late by Javier Castellano. But a word of caution for those that want to follow this horse in the Breeders' Cup at a relatively short price, maybe not 380 short, but a relatively short price. This was a closer's race.
Rushing Fall, $3.80 on the win end as the 4-5 favorite in the Jessamine. Stainless first-time turf, $14.40 to place. Cash Out runs 3rd, $6 to show. If you're looking at the $1 exacta, $35.60, 50-cent try, $274.65. Rushing Fall, 2-year-old filly for Chad. She's by more than ready. She's out of a forestry mare. This is I mean, what else is new? Chad's got another fantastic turf horse, and Chad, after the race and the post-race quotes, he said it that they thought that she was special from day one.
Oh, there was no doubt about it. There was a lot of buzz surrounding Rushing Fall before the debut. She came through in the debut at Belmont, shipping for the first time, catching soft turf. Of course, these are things that provide and provoke anxiety for a trainer far back early, but once she was able to change leads, as you mentioned, in mid-stretch, she then took advantage of that fast pace. You got to think this horse is a contender, a major one for the Breeders' Cup.
Does the quick turnaround bother you at all, knowing that this was only your 2nd lifetime start and it's going to come about 3.5 weeks out from the Breeders' Cup?
These young bones have got to run that. You know, I like them when they run. I think there are very few horses that really need time. Stellar Wind comes to mind. I think she's a mare that really benefits from time. She's going to get plenty of it coming into the Breeders' Cup. But we've seen horses like Moonshine Memories, 2-year-olds especially, come back on short notice to win prep races early this year. This is a situation where you say, in Chad, I trust. If this horse was tired, if this horse was feeling the effects of this race, she would not be in the Breeders' Cup.
You look at it strictly from a buyer standpoint, the debut was an 85, this was an 84, over 2 different kinds of ground, 2 different racetracks, so clearly she can ship and bring her race with her. Stainless first-time turf for Todd. Do you go on to a race like the Breeders' Cup?
This was a filly, if I recall, at Saratoga when she was running on the dirt. Very, very fractious behind the gate, very anxious. And in this race, still learning, it seems, ran in spots. I don't think she's as good as Rushing Fall. Do think she took advantage of a fast pace, but why not take a chance if she's feeling good in a race like the Breeders' Cup? Again, the caution is not only the pace, but this was a very soft turf course. It's highly unlikely the top 3, the top 4, whoever's going to the Breeders' Cup is going to get anywhere near the kind of course at Del Mar and they got at Keeneland.
We brought up a couple of horses, maybe some trips. The 3rd place runner, Cash Out, the 4th place runner, Layla Noor. I wonder if you wait on the Breeders' Cup kind of race for these two and give them a little bit of time, Because I think there is still plenty of potential here. Obviously, I just wonder, do you really want to throw them to the wolves at this point?
It's a fair question. I mean, how many chances in their careers, though, are they going to get an opportunity to run for that kind of money and that kind of prestige? Cash Out at least has done some things. She's very lightly raced. But for her to win over that European configuration at Kentucky Downs, I think that shows that there's something there. For her to run well here, she was 4 wide going into the first turn, 3-4 path on the backstretch, 3 to 5 wide on the second turn. She was punching on late. Not sure she's as good as Rushing Fall or any of the Europeans that'll be coming over here, but she's got potential. And as for Layla Noor, she broke from a tough outside post, and as you mentioned, she was in traffic. It's sort of a key moment, and it might have cost her a half length, a length. She wouldn't have won, but she would have been a little closer.
Timeform US had every fraction of this race color-coded red, as though it was fast, and like you say, over that soft ground. Does that want to give you sort of the inclination to upgrade the likes of Sugar Queen and Mentality, the 2 horses that were most forwardly placed?
I want to upgrade Sugar Queen. Mentality, to me, I think we're really pushing it at a mile and a 16th a mile. I think she might be a turf sprinter down the road, your typical Wesley Ward, fast, precocious 2-year-old. Sugar Queen, though, this was a nice test. She was getting blinkers for the first time. She was stretching out. She was close to this pace, and she's only beaten 6 lengths for all of the money. I'm not sure she's top class, but of the horses contesting the pace, I think you have to give her extra credit. She finished well ahead of most of the field.
Rushing Fall, another really, really exciting prospect on the turf for Chad Brown. I know what else is new. It's Chad's world on the turf. We're all just living in it. She wins the Jessamine down at Keeneland last week. She goes on to the Breeders' Cup on the heels of an 84 Beyer speed figure.